and welcome to another episode of the Mighty Movie Pod. My name is Ryan.
And I am co-host Josh.
How are you doing today, Josh?
I'm doing pretty good, man. Pretty good day.
We're back with another episode.
Back.
Episode 59. It's a special occasion.
Yeah, that's 10 off from my favorite number.
Yes.
I feel bad saying that.
I remember when I was 14.
Yeah, right?
Anyway, speaking of 14-year-olds, best segue ever.
Oh, well done.
We're here to talk about Shazam.
Shazam!
DC's Shazam.
Yes. Formerly known as Captain Marvel.
Was it released? How would you say this film was released? With or without much fanfare?
Subtly? Yeah. But
like a movie?
Yeah, like the
It's
old
not the
days where there was like one trailer and then there was a long time and then there was, like a little bit of a better trailer and then the movie, but it wasn't much different than the first one and then the movie came out. I don't think there was a lot of buzz around it.
Also,
I think a lot of people were like, I don't know.
How do you call it the movie? Also, do you dare call it the movie event of spring when you're releasing in the same month as this Avengers movie? It'd be bold. It'd be bold to say.
Very bold. It's a bold statement, man.
Yeah, it came out, though.
I think this movie's going to have a couple good weeks, though.
It is going to kill until, it gets killed.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I think it'll have a long tail because people see it. Even people that wait don't see movies like right when they first come out.
Yeah.
I feel like you go see Endgame, right? And then you're like, what do I see now?
Yeah.
And what are the options? Well,
It's
tell
dude,
you one.
that's interesting because like I feel like Endgame might give you a little bit of a bitter taste in the mouth,
It could be.
like if it's anything like Infinity War where you're just like, oh man, that was heavy shit.
Yeah.
I feel like this movie might be able to have some legs still, because people are gonna go, well, I want to watch a superhero movie where not everybody's sad.
Yeah, well, then, like that's kind of what I mean. Like, when you're reading a really good book, but you're sad when it's over,
Yeah.
and you're just like, damn.
Yeah.
Like Shazam could be that movie.
Mhm.
I think it will still be doing good post Endgame release.
Yeah. If you can't tell, we both like the movie.
Yeah, the movie. Let's get into it, Josh.
All right,
No
Ryan.
scheduled banter this episode.
Well, before you go ahead and ask me my thoughts based
Okay.
on the comic nerd thing, I don't know shit about Shazam, dude. I know
you
he
did.
used to be Captain Marvel before Marvel sued them.
Mhm.
I know that there was there were two characters who are also in this movie that were like Shazam Juniors.
Mhm.
There's like Lightning Lass. I think the guy's name is Lightning Lad. I think I'm making that up.
Could
like
be.
I said, I don't know shit. It could be Miss Marvel, or Lady Marvel, Marvel Girl, Marvel Lass. I know the guy's name is Marvel Lad, if I remember right.
Wow.
And so I recognized the two of them. So I was waiting for that to happen. But yeah, that's the beginning and end of my knowledge of Shazam.
Yeah, I had a feeling. I wasn't
I
even
knew-
really going to ask you. I had a feeling
Yeah.
that you were kind of just going into this. Like, if there was some broader DC tie-ins, you would understand them. But is the character himself?
My experience with the character of Shazam are the brilliant miniseries Kingdom Come from DC Comics back in the 90s. It's a great series. If you guys are fans of DC Comics and you want to read one of their really great alternate universe, possible future stories, Kingdom Come is the way to go. It was a great story. And the wonderful animated series Justice League Unlimited.
Justice League.
Where he showed up and he and Superman were at odds because Shazam thought Lex Luthor was awesome when he was running for president, and Clark was kind of like, Lex sucks, you don't understand, he's a liar. And they ended up
trying to
duking
deal
it
with
out.
a child, basically.
Yeah, exactly. They ended up duking it out with each other, and he's kind of his equal because Superman's weakness, other than kryptonite, is magic. He can't smack around magic. Magic can actually smack him around pretty good.
That's, there we go. You do have some knowledge on this because that's what I wanted to ask. In the movie, they talk about that magic is the only thing that can fuck with magic.
Yeah.
So when they talk about Superman a lot in this movie. They found
to talk about
They
that.
found a decent, if not kind of cheesy, way of doing this
Tying
whole
it in.
meta thing where
Yeah.
basically we understand superheroes exist for real and the fandom surrounds them like it does in real life.
Yeah.
But assuming that they actually exist.
Yeah.
It's really weird.
I wanted to say one thing about that, and it's normally you're the one that has the little nitpick about the comic books, and and I mean it made a lot of sense in Spider-Man into the Spider-Verse, where it's like, so they just know Peter Parker was
it's
Spider-Man.
really strange.
Yeah, it didn't make sense. But in this one, I was just like, I don't really feel like there would be a lot of Batman merch.
Yeah, that
I was like, I don't feel like
I don't know where Batman exists in this timeline. Not to mention that this takes place in a real city and not a place like Gotham or Metropolis.
Well, I think it's supposed to still be Fawcett City, which I know Fawcett was the name of the comic company that puts Shazam out before DC
I heard somebody
gobbled
say
it up.
I heard somebody say Pennsylvania.
Is it still Pittsburgh?
Philly.
Philly.
Sorry.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I heard somebody say Philly.
I know it's Philly, but I was wondering if it was like a suburb of Philly that was, because the school's called Fawcett High School.
Yeah. I think that's a little bit of a
So
like,
I'll
here
just
you go,
but like I said again, I don't know shit. So
yeah,
I did think it was kind of cool that it was set in a real city.
But I did hear that like Metropolis and Gotham and them are supposed to exist alongside the actual real cities. So
yeah.
I
was just kind of like, I don't think that there'd be a lot of Batman.
It was for a gag, the Batman, but I have no idea where Batman or Superman exist in this. They're clearly rebooting this entire.
Oh yeah, they're starting fresh. They're building off of Wonder Woman, I think.
Wonder Woman, Aquaman, in this movie.
Yeah, and I feel like they came out guns blazing.
I was gonna say, if these were the first three movies, I'd be like, damn.
Yeah, I mean, Justice League was kind of the end of the old days, I think. Oh, yeah. And we're moving forward from there. And I'm liking the direction we're going. I thought the end credits to this were the best part of the movie for me, dude. That was one where I wasn't like, can we leave before this stupid mid-credit thing? I don't care.
Yeah.
And then I was just like, no, this is fun. It's all little hand-drawn, like a kid's comic book version of everything that happened, and it was really, really cool. It was like a flip book. Yeah. It was really, really cool.
Shazam rolling up, taking Wonder Woman to prom. You know how it is. In the Batmobile.
Yeah, making Batman look like a punk. He punches Superman in the face. He's the coolest guy ever. He's throwing on sunglasses. It was kind of fun.
So this movie is very, very good, but
very fun,
and actually it's well put together.
Yeah, there's a lot of good in the movie.
Exactly. That being said, though, it is a beat for beat kind of structure ripoff of some of the more successful Marvel movies.
Yeah, it's definitely Well, even the end credits, like it's got, I think that's Joey Ramone on his own. I'm not sure. But I was like, so Johnny Ramone, not Joey Ramone. I think it's Johnny Ramone. But I was just like, really, dude? And it's all lined paper and everything. And I was like, this is just the credits from
Homecoming.
But then it starts doing a little comic book thing, and I was like, all right, well, that's really cool. There's a lot of just like A to B. Well, we'll pull this from Thor, and we'll pull this from Iron Man, and we'll pull this from Spider-Man. A lot of Spider-Man.
Yeah,
this is definitely. I thought they were going to try to double down on Flash, but I feel like they're going with Shazam as their teen hero.
Yeah, I think so, I think this knows that they're going to recast basically the entire Justice League, except for maybe Aquaman, because they mention the characters and maybe someone shows up.
Maybe there's a cameo, but you don't see a face. And I'm still pissed about that, because I know Ben Affleck was just like, no, you guys don't know what you're doing. I'm done. But I heard the rumor that they're going to fire Cavill, right? I'm like, no, Cavill didn't do anything wrong. You just didn't give him a decent script.
I think what happened with Cavill, if I remember correctly, is like he's just been openly talking shit. Like, just to anybody who asks him questions, he just wants out. Hypercritical, and they're just like, "Fine, dude, you can move." And he's like, "Oh no,
oh no." Well, that sucks for me, because I thought Henry Cavill. I was like, "Oh, that's a great."
It's
choice.
Hard to cast It's hard to cast a Superman. For sure,
it's crazy, isn't it? That it's that hard to cast a Superman. You'd think it'd be easy with the amount of like square jaw hero man character people that we have around. But
I guess he just has to be written right. To be honest,
he does have to be written. What they did for Cap, they need to do for Superman. like have a man with outdated ideals trying to deal with today's. But anyway, back to Shazam.
The structure of the story is kind of classic paint by numbers origin story.
It has some tonality issues. Because sometimes it gets really rough.
It really does.
Out of nowhere, it's a kids movie again.
But that's what kind of like I think they're like, dude, we're putting it down in this deep place, and you're getting like that character moment. But I like that then they're like, but hang on, they're still kids.
You get a breather.
And it's a breather.
Well, it felt a lot like, reminded me a lot of like 80s teen kid movies and like 90s
because it was generally disturbing in certain places.
Oh, like, there was some real like almost Gremlins moments, some Goonies, you know. It made me think a lot of the old Amblin stuff.
I remember last episode, maybe I cut it out, I don't know, but I was talking about the director for this, and I was kind of like, I don't know, and I'm like, dude, this guy nailed it with the feel of the movie, like the overall tone and feel of the movie.
They did a less angst-ridden, melodramatic version of what Chronicle did, where what happens when kids get superpowers.
Yeah.
Most of this movie is these two dipshits just playing around with their putting up YouTube videos and stuff, like things that kids of today, I think, would be doing if they found themselves having superpowers. Like, I want to be a YouTube celebrity, and I'm going to monetize this, and we'll be making money hand over fist.
You've got the origin. So the movie opens with kind of a villain origin, then it goes to set up the character, origin of their powers, then they meet the bad guy who has the same fucking powers as him.
Yeah.
And
relatively
he's got a thing to him that makes him more interesting.
He's not an exact guy. We're not an ironmonger.
Exactly. A well established weakness and kind of like thing to overcome.
I still feel
instead
like
of just punching him harder than he punches you.
He had a really good. Oh, and that's what I loved about the solution was you had your big fight, but at the end it was all down to being cunning.
I was gonna say they kind of had this
trickery.
fight, and then they were both standing there, and I was kind of just like. In my mind, I was just like, yeah, dude, like, how long are you guys just going to duke it out? And then right when I thought that, they changed it up.
They flipped it up, and you got kind of a Doctor Strange finale
Outwit,
to it.
yeah.
I'm gonna be smarter than you kind of thing. Yeah.
On top of the surprise, you kind of already alluded to it, but the surprise that happens with should have known was coming and didn't. That was great. That changed it up for a bit. Then you had the kind of big fight, and it all was so familiar, but the tone and kind of the pinpoint really execution.
It did a lot of what I was hoping Homecoming would do with the supporting cast, where like his real life was super important.
Yes,
I liked that. I liked that a lot. That really kind of
it influenced what he did when he became Shazam.
It became important, exactly. Yes. And with Freddy, you have a much better sidekick.
Oh yeah.
Than
Nelson,
Newton, Norton.
It starts with an N.
Yeah, Nick.
I think it's Nelson. I don't know.
It could be Nelson. Ned. It's
Ned,
the most useless character ever. With Freddy, you have a really cool sidekick where he's all pumped, and then he's just like, dude, what are you doing? At the same time, though, I was just like, you're kind of being a hypocrite here, kid.
Yeah.
Like, you volunteered him to help you through all this stuff, and you're talking like you're super cool.
Yeah.
Like, you're the pot calling the kettle black kind of situation. But I thought that was good because they played with that, too, where he's just like, no, you're being selfish. No, you're being selfish.
Being reckless in making some dumb decisions and not understanding the gravity of one's actions. It really worked because they established that they were kids.
They were kids.
With flaws.
Yeah.
And they fucking... I think
really
they nailed
good.
it out of the park with this one.
Dude, I really liked it.
This is probably their best movie to date.
A couple pacing issues. Like with Aquaman, a couple pacing issues. But it didn't feel bloated like Aquaman.
It was a little under 2 hours.
I feel like they're taking steps in the right direction. Like I said, with Wonder Woman, they were like, oh wow, people like heroes being heroic. So it's a learning It's like with Marvel, it was a learning process, and this is a learning process for DC. They've learned to pump the brakes and just work it out as it goes.
They were going for it without preparation in the
Yeah.
first bit.
Yeah,
And now
they just wanted
now
to
that they're
rush to that Avengers money.
Yeah, now that they're relaxing and just making some movies, it's like, wow, these are really good. You guys should have started with this shit,
why didn't you do
idiots.
this in the first place? Yeah, exactly.
But I think if they keep on this track, they're
I
poised.
would love to see him do a new Green Lantern with Jon Stewart as the character.
Yeah, they're poised to have a mighty resurgence, I think.
I think that they'll make a good going of it, dude. I don't know if
I think as
I
soon
don't
as
know
Batman,
if I don't know if audiences will still be around. But I'm pretty. If they do a Batman, like you were gonna say, if they're doing a Batman, like they'll definitely come out. But I don't know if we'll ever see another Justice League.
Oh, I don't think so.
Maybe a couple team up movies.
But I think that's. I was gonna say. I think that's an outdated idea anyway.
It's over.
Like,
It's done. It's done. It's been done.
Literally, Infinity.
I don't even want to see more Avengers
I don't
movies.
count fucking Age of Ultron. That just proved that you can't do that team up movie like as an annual thing.
No.
Then they did a bunch of other ones. Civil War was pretty much an Avengers movie.
Avengers 2.5.
Yeah, and you get characters crossing over, and it's like that's more fun. But like, have just a simple story, not a world-ending fucking threat that they all have to come together and punch them the hardest every time. Like Infinity War worked out because they really, really, really spent the time setting it up.
Yeah, and they developed Thanos into a real person
character,
instead of just like the guy who punches harder than the rest of them.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the first time when you knew from the beginning they're not going to be able to punch him enough.
Yeah, no. Right away they established.
Right away,
oh,
yeah,
no.
he takes out their two strongest characters immediately.
Yep.
So. Well, and even his sidekicks were mopping the floor with them. You know? So yeah.
So I think this is going to be the last Avengers movie anyway, and it's like, so you have nothing to like live up to or match or try to compete with. Like,
just do your thing.
You might be the only game in town here pretty soon, for the most part.
Yeah,
and it's like, if Shazam does really good on top of Aquaman and Wonder Woman, it's like, dude,
Black Widow is coming down the pipe, and there's another one that they just
announced.
announced that's going to be a new one, and I'm kind of like,
yeah, and Far From Home's still coming out, and
Far
and all
From
that
Home,
stuff.
and then there's another Guardians down the pipe,
down
somewhere,
the pipeline, which James Gunn is doing again.
Yeah, James Gunn's back.
So I'm excited for that again.
I'm pumped. And then Black Panther 2, of course.
Black Panther, yeah. So it's not like they're going anywhere, but there's more room. There's no dominating fucking makes the most money in the world. Makes the most money in the world.
I know
movie like that just looms over you.
Yeah,
because that's the thing. Executives go, yeah, Shazam did pretty well and people really like it, but it didn't make Avengers Infinity War money.
Yeah, no one's gonna say that. I hope nobody says. They may to draw a couple comparisons to Marvel. If they're gonna compare it to anything, Ant-Man and Homecoming.
Yeah.
This is very much in the same vein as Ant-Man and Homecoming. And I enjoyed it as much as both of those.
Besides Thor Ragnarok, I think this is the funniest, most humor-centric superhero movie.
And it never feels too much.
No,
it
was there was no improv going on.
Well, and what I liked too,
these were all like written gags.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Exactly. There was a couple bits where I think they were just like, no, just go with this. But it was rooted in a script.
Yeah.
Which, and I love me some ad lib, but sometimes it's like, guys, dial it back.
Yeah.
And in this one, it was just like, when he's interacting with Mary after he saves her.
Yeah.
There's a little bit there where I was just like, this is off script. We're
a
off script
little
here.
bit of the dialogue, yeah, but
it wasn't bad.
Yeah, most of the humor comes from gags and bits.
It reminded me of the old school days of like John Hughes, like to again reference the old '80s style films, where it's just like, no, they're just going off. But this guy was smart enough to go like, and we're done. Stop.
I know this director got his start with making like YouTube horror and then made Annabelle and all that stuff.
Oh, that's right. It is the same dude.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. I was racking my brain.
And I'm just kind of like taking the Marvel formula again. You get a smaller guy like that, give him a gigantic budget and tell him to make a superhero movie. And I'm just like, how did this guy make this movie? It's really, really good.
Yeah.
It's so well put together.
I don't know, because Annabelle Creation was a pile of shit.
Yeah. I fucking that's why I thought for the longest time I didn't like horror movies. And then I realized that I do. It's just there's so many bad ones.
Speaking of which, we're gonna have another one coming up for Pet Cemetery.
We are gonna
we almost saw that one yesterday.
Yeah.
But the schedule is conflicted.
Yeah.
But yeah, I honestly this is crazy. I didn't know that was still a thing. I I remembered them saying they were going to work on it, and then that was the last I heard of it.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden, Pet Sematary is in theaters.
It's in theaters, and I haven't heard any voices on it yet.
Yeah,
so I'm excited to check it out.
But yeah. I mean, if it's as good as Halloween was, and apparently it was.
Yeah, I still need to watch it. I know it's very jump scare heavy, which is my
and that's why I was kind of like,
peeve.
I don't want to watch that. That's why I like the Halloween one. Was it had actual scares?
Yep.
It's not they don't go for the cheap shot.
The cheap false jump scare.
But no, dude, top marks for this guy. He did a great job. And then the dude from Chuck, I don't know his name.
Zachary Levi.
Thank you. Very great. I really enjoyed him in the movie. He does a great job of pretending to be a kid. It's like Big. It's like Big, dude. It's crazy.
Dude, everybody's being very earnest in the movie.
I was gonna say everybody's working hard, but it doesn't feel like they're working hard.
Yeah.
You know, it's
nobody's
overselling anything.
There was some when you have kids involved, for whatever reason, there's always cliche bullies that
I was gonna bring them up.
I don't understand. So I thought for a second
I thought
for a second they were just trying to hit him with their car, but I realized that's just where they park their truck every day.
Yeah, they're just dicks.
So then they hit him on accident, and then we're mad that he scratched the truck.
Yeah.
Because for a second I was like, did they just hit him and then get out to just punk him? Like, what the hell is going on here? Why do we have to have these dumb 80s nonsensical bullies?
Because everybody loves Bulk and Skull.
I mean, I wrote a fan fiction where we were Bulk and Skull.
We were Bulk and Skull, yeah.
So I can't argue with that. I don't know what to say now. Now I feel ridiculous.
No, because I had the same thing. I was like, oh, here they fucking come. And sure enough, they're there through the whole movie. And I was just like, God, these fucking kids.
But it pays off for one gag at the near the end of the movie.
And I was also going to say, like, it's also like we both had huge complaints about Flash Thompson in Spider-Man Homecoming, where he's not really a bully. Like, he's kind of just a tool.
Agreed.
And I feel like you do need, unfortunately, you kind of need a character that is just a dickhead kid. Yeah. Especially in a kid's movie.
Flash, he's still going to be annoying, and I know he will be, but he does have a good...
He does have a zinger in the trailer.
Yeah,
he did get him with a zinger on that one. I was like,
I just really respect him. He watches The Neighborhood. Hey, what's up, dickhead?
What's up, dickhead? Yeah, and I was just like, that was a good one.
All right, they got me with they took him up one notch from 0 to 1.
Yeah, I was like, everybody still thinks you're insufferable and you're the worst character in the fucking movie. But
yeah, yeah, we'll see how Far From Home goes. But this movie, dude, I think it might. So I'm not talking about Nolan's Batmans or anything prior to that.
No,
talking about when they tried to make this cinematic universe thing happen.
Yeah.
This is definitely my favorite.
See, Aquaman is still mine, but this is still...
I love me some Aquaman.
Yeah.
And it's mostly because nobody makes fantasy films anymore, and that's exactly why I like fucking Warcraft, even though everybody hates on it.
I know. But dude, that's why I liked the King Arthur movie.
I still need to watch it.
Well, I say that's why I liked the King Arthur movie. If you recall, that was one of my biggest disappointments.
Yes, I do.
Of the year. And the more I've watched it, the more I realized that I really, really enjoy that movie, as flawed as it is.
Yeah. This movie's not 2.5 hours long.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. I don't know. Aquaman just got me, dude.
Better performances.
Oh yeah, there's no Amber Heard sucking it up.
Yeah.
Draining the energy out of every scene she's in.
Exactly.
But no, it's hard, dude, because like Aquaman and Wonder Woman are like neck and neck, dude. And like I feel like saying it's probably my third, but given the other films like that you have to include in this kind of list,
Wonder Woman is probably their best made film for sure.
Yeah.
And then obviously I'd hear it's favorites, who cares? Like this one speaks to me as a man who I think his favorite Marvel movie is Thor Ragnarok. This movie is just like
your favorite one was Thor, the first Thor for the longest time.
Forever.
You watched it the other day and told me, you're like, I forgot how great that was.
Dude,
Yeah.
for real. In this movie, this movie's tight.
It's a lot like Thor. It's
Yeah,
a lot,
for sure.
It's in that same vein where it's just like wacky magic adventures.
Yeah, I want to be the dick who's talking about, Black Panther comes out. I'm like, God, it's tired old fucking origin story bullshit.
Yeah.
And then
Well, the problem with Black
Shazam
Panther
comes out, and I'm just like, great.
The problem with Black Panther was it was an origin story that we didn't need.
I
Like
agree.
we'd already seen his origin.
I agree.
I want to see him be a king now.
Well, and there was only one bit in this where it was like, let's strip his powers away. But it's like, that's not fun because he's a kid. Of course, he's just going to die. So there's one bit where they did that. And the rest of it was just like, yeah, I know he's a superhero. They were so starved for making any tension in Black Panther that they're like, and then he loses his power and fights him again.
When they had a much easier way to do that would have been really cool within the story. Where you had this great villain that doesn't do anything and then shows up and is like, what's up, guys? We should do it my way. And they're like, well, I guess because you're the king.
Yeah, no. Yeah, exactly. The political, the political.
It should have been political from the word go.
Exactly. It's so dumb. Instead, they had to set up the ritual and then
Well, because he's got to be a superhero on top of that. But we're talking about Shazam.
This isn't about Marvel or Black Panther. I know I'm talking about tired fucking origin story plots.
Yeah.
This is one of the best.
Yes.
Marvel figured it out sometime like 10 years ago. And DC just figured it out, I think, on top of Wonder Woman.
When you're introducing a new hero in the tired origin story that we're talking about, like this is up there with Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse for me. Where they handle origin stories really cool, really well, make it fun, make it fresh. And this was great, dude. It's just fun to watch kids get superpowers.
This tickles my fancy, Josh.
Gross.
Because I did a ball tickling motion when I said that. That's why. Anyway, you guys missed that.
Visual comedy on a podcast.
This one tickled my fancy because it's just so.
Stop doing that.
It's just so tight and just like you just take a tight script. You have the fucking building blocks of just like the structure of a decent movie, like classic structure, and then just execute it with good performances and like visuals and characters. There's a lot there, but you take that classic structure and just like execute that. That's like step one.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. What don't make fucking Batman versus Superman. You know what I mean? Just don't do that.
Justice League.
That's a bad idea.
Yeah.
That's a stupid
Don't
fucking
make Suicide Squad.
Suicide Squad, probably the biggest offender of having no structure.
The worst movie.
Yeah.
The worst. The worst.
So like I know I sound like a hypocrite when I say tired old bullshit. But talking about like Black Panther or one of the other ones. And then giving this one praise. Doctor Strange. But that's the thing. It's not like I didn't like Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
This has more personality than Doctor Strange.
Much more personality than Doctor Strange.
So that, like I said, there's layers on top. But if you get the base good, the good foundation of that solid structure and a tight script that's not convoluted and ridiculous.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah.
Build off of that and you're probably going to be okay. DC has always, like they did it with Aquaman, kind of a little bit. They did it with Wonder Woman, and now they've done it again. And I'm just like, oh my god, I think they're gonna make movies now because whatever the fuck Batman versus Superman was, or Suicide Squad,
or Justice League,
Justice
League is a victim of circumstance.
Justice League is just a hodgepodge.
Regardless.
Yeah,
it would have sucked regardless, but it's a victim of circumstance.
So that's why I'm like very high on this movie. I'm just like, oh my god, they understand how movies work.
They remembered because they didn't always make bad DC movies.
No, absolutely not. I talk shit about The Dark Knight all the time, but Nolan made a structured movie. It was a crime movie that we were supposed to take seriously, but had ridiculous ideas painted on top of it.
And a terrible plan.
That's what I mean. Terrible. Yeah.
A terrible plan.
See, in a structure though, you have that under just like ultimate, ultimate villain
goal.
plan.
Yeah.
And then when you filled that in with was terrible. I hate that movie.
I know you
I don't
do.
think people understand. I don't know if I've talked about it enough.
I don't think you've talked to me about it enough. Good God.
I hate The Dark Knight.
I know.
It's a piece of shit.
Calm down.
Speaking of which, so anyway, do you want people to see Shazam?
I would love it if more people went out and supported this movie. Let's get some DC movies going. You know,
I recommend Shazam as well.
I am not a bipartisan when it comes to the comic book companies. I love a lot of DC books. I love a lot of Marvel books. And I want both to succeed. I remember back in the day when Marvel cartoons were the fucking worst and DC was knocking it out of the park. Marvel cartoons are still crap, but now DC cartoons are crap. And I never wanted to see DC movies be bad.
No. I don't take pleasure from... I don't want to go and be like, I was right, it's a piece of shit. Like, I don't want to do that.
Yeah, exactly. No, I always want to be surprised. And it's just DC hasn't been doing that until Wonder Woman, Aquaman, and Shazam.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that we're getting this renaissance. My greatest hope is that they decide to do a new Superman and it's good and we get a good Superman movie. Batman's easy. Superman is hard. Do a good Superman movie.
Agreed.
I need you to do a good, give me the Boy Scout. I need him to do well. I love Superman almost as much as I love Batman, but I've seen Batman 1,000 times.
Agreed.
I need good Superman.
I really would urge people to see this movie. I just like good movies, so I don't give a shit who's making them.
Nope.
I made fun of Aquaman for 5 years until that movie came out, and then I loved it. So what can you do?
I was telling you the whole time. I was like, yeah, I've seen Family Guy too.
Yeah, exactly. But nobody ever was able to prove me wrong.
Yeah, I tried 100 times and you weren't listening. You're just like, oh, whatever. He talks to fish.
What? I mean, he does.
He
do though.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. Did you want to talk about the Joker trailer?
I do want to talk about the teaser for the new Joaquin Phoenix Joker movie.
All right. Because I don't have a lot to say about
neither do I. It's gonna be brief.
None of it's good.
I think they're like I said about this movie. I think they're making a real movie, which is nice. It's not a Suicide Squad situation. But as somebody who fucking hates The Dark Knight and loves shit like Shazam, I can tell you this movie is not going to be for me. I might be able to appreciate it. We'll see. It's way too early to tell off of one teaser. But the tone and the idea surrounding it I do not agree with.
I don't need to see Taxi Driver the Joker.
Yeah.
You know, I think I said I've never been so optimistically apathetic about a movie. Like, I don't this is entirely unnecessary. As far as I'm concerned, Joker was always at his best when we didn't know shit about him. Alan Moore was like, I don't know if I should have wrote Killing Joke. He says a lot of that based on what he did to Barbara Gordon. But, like, he also expressed a little bit, he never intended for that to become the canon for Joker. It was just his take, you know, and that's one of my complaints about the 89 Batman. One of my complaints about Mask of the Phantasm. Joker's one of those characters who doesn't really deserve sympathy and oddly enough, his humanizing lessens his character.
What I was gonna say is people use the sympathetic villain as a blanket statement for like a well-developed villain.
Joker's perfect.
The villain the villain doesn't always need to be a sympathetic villain. Sometimes they can just be a crazy asshole.
Nightcrawler, you're rooting for the villain the entire time. There's no sympathy for the character in Nightcrawler. He is a huge piece of shit the entire film. And this one looks like at some point I'm gonna be like, oh, well, now he's been pushed too far.
I was gonna say, but also who's to tell? Maybe they could pull the old switcheroo on you.
And he's always sucks.
And he's always just
it looks like it's
being
pulling
a creep the whole time.
It looks like he's pulling it from they're pulling from Killing Joke, where like he was just a failed comedian and he was trying his hardest and it didn't work out and he got suckered into a bad situation. This just looks like Falling Down or Taxi Driver. And like, honestly, I watched the trailer. That's all you need. because you watch the whole process right there.
was
By
gonna
the
say,
end of the
yeah.
trailer, he's the Joker. That's it.
Yeah, it kind of works.
So just on that front, let it just be that little 30-second teaser.
I was gonna say, yeah, it worked as a little 30-second.
And now
kind of
put him in a
fan film
Batman
thing.
movie.
I agree.
That's it. Just put him in a Batman movie.
Um,
I don't care. It looks like Oscar bait. It's got Joaquin Phoenix. Yeah, Joaquin Phoenix is one of those actors you cast when you're trying to get an Oscar, and that's what they're trying to do with this movie. Because Dark Knight won an Oscar, so we've got to win another Oscar.
Her
No,
did
don't.
win an Oscar, by the
Her
way.
was a great movie.
It was, but that was for Spike Jonze, and I love Spike Jonze. Best original screenplay. Anyway,
I don't know.
I'm
It's
very
entirely unnecessary.
interested. I think, like I said, no, I don't want to go in trying to hate something, even though I on Twitter said that I'm going to hate it. So I'm an
Yeah,
asshole.
you just said it.
Before,
when you said how much you hate Dark Knight,
Yeah.
you're gonna hate this movie.
yeah, exactly. I would love to be surprised, but I think a teaser is supposed to kind of give you an idea of like what the movie is going for.
Mm-hmm. I know I say this all the time, but I'm serious this time. I won't watch this movie. I don't need to see it. I don't need to see it. I don't need to see it.
I'm going to watch it, so I guess I could just tell you about it.
I'll end up fucking watching it. I do every time. Even movies that I'm like, I don't want to watch this. I come over here and you sneak it up on me, and I'm like, well, fuck. Now I'm just gonna sit here and watch this. 'Cause
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I'm just curious. I'm curious about it.
At some point, I will end up.
I want to see what they do, and yeah, avoiding the theaters might be great. From what I heard, the crowds going to the Suicide Squad were some juggalos mostly.
Ooh, ne'er-do-wells.
Yeah, so avoiding the theater for Joker fans is actually not a bad idea.
If they're anything like Spider-Man fans, I 100% endorse not seeing this in the theaters.
But I'm interested. But for what they're putting out there, not for me when it comes to comic book movies, and then also if I'm supposed to take them seriously, it's a fine line when you're going like Nolan Batman kind of tonality. We'll see. That's all I say.
It's a level of seriousness that I don't need applied to a comic book movie. But you can also it's kind of not fair because it's like, well, don't think about it as a comic book movie. It's just a character drama or whatever. Yeah, and I get that.
And that's fair.
But it's just, it always falls into that whole, it was never for kids. And yeah, it fucking was. The first comic I read was a Batman comic and I was 7.
Yeah.
Like I was reading Batman comics as a child, and they didn't disturb me. There are adult comics. Those are Hellblazer and Sandman and Transmetropolitan and all that stuff. Batman and Joker's a clown.
Yeah.
Batman wears a Batman suit.
It's kind of because I think about it this way because like Logan is an amazing movie, a very very serious tonal,
but it doesn't go. It's not Oscar baity.
I don't know for sure, and that's what I was going to point out. Like it's a very more serious tone, and it has more adult themes for sure, and it's pretty heavy. But also there is a clone, Hugh Jackman. They fight.
Yeah, and there's little mutant kids running around, and there's a super science.
I'm not trying
program.
to gatekeep.
There's a man with a robot arm.
I'm not trying to gatekeep what makes this a comic book movie.
Neither am I. No, and I don't mean to come off that way, but it's just like it's a level of seriousness that I personally don't need to be involved in. I hate is like. Well, they're finally taking it. I don't like when Gotham just looks like New York and Chicago.
For sure. I don't like the idea of people trying to justify like that their interests are for adults.
Yeah.
Dude, just like what you like.
Now this is okay for everybody.
Yeah.
It's like, no, it's always been okay for everybody.
Yeah.
Just some people don't dig it. That's fine.
Yeah, like what you like, man. It's all good. So on that note, like people that are super into this,
yeah,
I'm happy for them. I hope it's fucking good. And
that's what I meant by optimistically apathetic.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like I'm gonna watch the movie, like obviously, and I'm probably gonna make you watch it because you talk a strong game, Josh.
I will avoid it for as long as I can.
And then I usually go, we should probably watch this.
I did pretty good with Batman versus Superman. I was not gonna see that fucking movie, and then we were just like, well, it's apparently such a pile of garbage. I have to see how big a pile of garbage it is.
No, and most of the
and
ones
then we apparently watched the good version.
we watched the good version, and that makes me wonder what
how bad.
abomination.
Yeah, how bad was the theatrical version that was better?
Strange. Yeah, no, for sure. Most of the movies that you talk about not wanting to see, I definitely don't want to see either. So it's not usually an
I
argument.
said I wasn't going to watch Captain Marvel.
Yeah,
I watched Captain
but I knew
Marvel.
you were lying.
Yeah. I have to. I think I even fessed up to that one where I'm like, I don't want to see it, and I did. Spider-Man: Homecoming. I was like, that was one where I was like, it looks great, but it's not for me, and it wasn't. And like this one, I'm just like, I don't care. This is adamantly a no desire.
Yeah.
He does look pretty good as the Joker, though.
Yeah, no, it like I said, I'm interested in it, but overall, I think it's definitely not for me. But still, man, like DC, dude, if they can figure out Batman and Superman, they might be onto something here.
Yeah, right.
But that's the thing, man. Getting a Batman and a Superman is pretty hard to do.
Yeah. I think I'd like to see them do more of these, not the big hero like Aquaman, Shazam.
I agree.
Step away. Maybe try Green, like I said earlier,
Green
try
Lantern.
Green Lantern.
They should try it again.
Try it with Jon Stewart. Jon Stewart would be great. I would love to see Jon Stewart get a day in the sun.
Yeah. They should try it again.
Definitely don't do Cyborg.
No.
Cyborg's just not a great character. Do a Teen Titans movie. It's got to be better than that god awful show.
They have that show.
I caught an episode for free. I caught the premiere
Hmm.
episode for free.
Was it really bad?
I did a try. Oh, fucking terrible.
Because I know the trailer looked really bad,
dude. It's
but I
terrible.
figured the show couldn't have been that bad.
It's really bad. It is Snyderverse through and through, even to a more extent. It's
for the
really,
Teen Titans.
Really, yeah, for the Teen Titans. It's even worse. It's terrible. It is. It looks. I've seen fan films look better than that show does. It is awful. It's terrible. The acting's bad. It's not good. It's not good.
That's
Yeah.
I figured it was gonna be like not good,
Yeah,
but
no,
as bad as it looked, I didn't think it was.
It could be me just being a curmudgeon and being like, "This looks like crap." I knew it, But like, I tried to go because like I like Robin. I love the Teen Titans. Jeff Johns' run on Teen Titans is one of my favorite stories ever. But
because people really like the Flash, and we like Supergirl.
Flash is great for being cheesy. But at the same time, like at the end of the day, those are all barely superhero shows.
No, for sure. Like I said, people like Flash.
Yeah.
I just wondered if this was finding an audience, because if
it's going into another season, I
Is
guess.
it?
So it's found an audience.
because I felt like if it was going to be as bad as that trailer made it look, like it was a movie made, it was a show made for nobody, because it was bad. So I figured it couldn't have been that bad.
I thought it was.
Now
awful.
I'm interested.
I thought it was.
But
awful.
did it look just as cheap and shitty?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. See, that
It
was
looks
my main
really
problem.
bad.
Because remember when they showed the first like teaser for Star Trek Discovery?
Yeah.
It looked like super duper bad.
Yeah.
And then the show they ended up making was definitely not Star Trek, but for network quote unquote television, it's a really good looking show.
Well, it's the early shots of Henry Cavill as Geralt looked awful, but then I've seen stuff from actual
Has
on
new
set,
stuff come
and
up.
it looks pretty good. He's actually rocking a beard and stuff.
Okay, yeah. Geralt has to have a beard because Geralt always did.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, he didn't have a beard for the first ones, but yeah, he looks better. I don't know. It's just
that's what I'm saying. Early promotional stuff always looks bad.
Yeah. No,
but if that show still looked day for night cheapness,
like there was a really bad Nightwing web series that I thought looked actually better than this show.
Really?
Yeah.
It's not surprising. Damn.
Like, it's just in an age where we have like Flash and Supergirl, and it looks like people put some effort into it, and or Daredevil,
especially those Netflix Marvel
especially
shows,
like and even Daredevil's costume. The first one was a little jank. Second season, he looked a lot better, but like someone tried. This looks like they just slapped clothes on people, and we're like, "You're Starfire, you're Robin." You know, it's
Yeah,
awful.
DC has gone a lot harder on all. You were talking about they should focus on some of the smaller characters, but they've gone so hard on having almost every fucking character in some sort of show. You know what I mean? They've got Cloak and Dagger, and then they
That's
have.
Marvel.
Oh yeah, that's right. They have. You're totally right. That is Cloak and that
They
is
got
Marvel.
Flash. They got
They got Flash.
Legends.
They got the Legends. That's what I
Black
meant.
Lightning.
They've got this new Teen Titans show. They have fucking what's the other one that they have?
Green Arrow.
Supergirl, Green Arrow. That's the one I was thinking.
And there's Black Lightning as well.
Yeah, and I'm just like, they're kind of tying all their properties up, but then again, they put Flash in Justice League, and they don't care that there's a show.
Yeah,
so.
exactly. Well, because the whole concept behind Flash, the TV show, is the multiverse. So it's there. It makes a lot of sense.
Spider-Man's holding it all together, man.
Yeah, right, right. Yeah, it's. I would love to see like a Nightwing movie. Nightwing would be really cool. I love Dick Grayson. I think he's a great character. I'd love to see a Tim Drake Robin. I'd love to see Tim Drake get his due finally. We always go from Grayson. I'm not saying Dick. Because if I'm gonna call him Dick, I'm gonna call him Dick Grayson because I can't avoid that joke. It's too good.
Well, kids can be cruel.
No, kids can be cruel. They always seem to skip over Tim, and Tim's the one that made Robin cool. Like he was DC's Spider-Man for a long time, and it was like they just always go to Jason Todd because Jason Todd becomes a villain, and they go with Dick because Dick becomes Nightwing, and everybody loves Nightwing. But Tim stayed Robin. He's off on his own, being Red Robin now. Yeah, and it's like, yeah, guys. No one would give two shits about Robin if it wasn't for Tim Drake. Give Tim some time. Like they call him Tim Drake, but then he's really Jason Todd or he's really Dick Grayson, you know, or they don't include him at all and they just go straight to like Damian, which is the worst they can fucking do. Damian's a terrible character.
Isn't Damian actually Batman's
Damian
son?
is actually his son by Talia al Ghul, daughter of Ra's al Ghul.
Yeah.
And Damian's just a piece of shit with a power fetish. Like, he fucking sucks. I hate Damian so much. The only time Damian was pretty good was when Dick put the cowl on and was Batman because Batman had quote unquote died. Mm-hmm. And he was running around as Batman, so he had Dick Grayson running around with Damian, and he's trying to make Damian less of a piece of shit, you know. And it was a nice little dynamic, but fucking still sucked. He's just a shitty character. But anyway, there's a lot of DC characters. I would love to see a Justice Society movie. I love the Justice Society. They're great. You have this great combination of young new heroes being raised and taught the ways by the old dogs, and they're like the really old, like the original Green Lantern when he was like magic based and not an alien, and Wildcat, who was one of the original fucking Rock'em Sock'em Daredevil Batman types. You know, it's really cool stuff. I'm off on a tangent.
No,
dude.
you're
I'm
good.
sorry.
It's just really funny because we're talking because we're obviously talking about like some of the smaller
Shazam
DCs.
was in that.
Yeah, I was gonna say some of the smaller DCs like that aren't Superman and Batman and whatever, and I'm just like, well, they already did Aquaman or Wonder Woman is a big one. They already did Aquaman, who's like a joke, undeservedly, or deservedly, I don't know.
Undeservedly, you dick.
And I'm like, wow. And then they managed to find somebody even more ridiculous. They're like, Shazam. Nobody's ever heard of him. And I'm like, they need to get deeper with this. I was like, they already did a Shazam movie. Like, where else can they go?
They could do Sandman.
Like, as we're having this conversation, I'm like, they did a Shazam movie. What are they gonna do?
Well, they could do Swamp Thing. They could remake Swamp Thing because the 80s Swamp Thing is borderline porn.
Nice.
It's really bad. They could do Sandman and not the Neil Gaiman one that everybody, and I'm saying everybody, like I don't enjoy it. That's fucking Neil Gaiman's tour de force masterpiece. Fucking loved that series. It was amazing. The series that made him like one of my favorite authors. Also, guys, random note, check out Neverwhere. It's my favorite book by him.
Don't do that.
Do that. No, they could do Sandman, the old pulp style, where he would put people to sleep and solve murders and stuff, and he wore like a gas mask, and that all ties in to the Neil Gaiman Sandman. There's this really cool story that connects the two. It's really cool. but I would love to see that, or Mr. Terrific. That would be awesome to see him.
Okay, I don't know who that
Starman.
is.
Oh, I would love to see a Jack Knight Starman.
I don't know. I don't know who that is, but I would be down to see Mr. Terrific.
Mr. Terrific's dope, dude. He's the second smartest man in the world.
Second, who's the first smartest man?
He's a villain, if I remember
Okay.
right. I think it's,
Well, then how could he ever win? He's only the second smartest man.
because he always goes up against the third smartest man.
Well, who's the first smartest man? That would be his main villain.
I told you it was it's a villain. I can't. I think it's a villain. I think like there was this weird breakdown
Okay.
because they call him the second smartest man in the world or something like that, and then like Batman's right underneath him or something, and I was like,
God.
of course Batman's right underneath him. Batman's not that smart. He's just a good detective.
He's the world's greatest detective.
No, Sherlock Holmes is.
I disagree.
Of course you would.
I've seen those movies. They're stupid.
You saw the first one.
I've seen the second one.
Did you?
I think the second one's worse.
The second one is way worse. I like the first one.
But I didn't like the first one either.
I like the first one. It was fun. It's by no means a real Sherlock Holmes story, but it was fun. I enjoyed Jude Law and Robert
Call
Downey.
it a story.
Check out Shazam.
There's not a lot of movies I
Ryan.
really don't like, and that's one of them.
That's not true. There's so many movies you really don't like.
It's true. I hate Field of Dreams. You should check out Shazam.
I'm gonna
Don't
murder Ryan.
don't listen to Josh. You should see it.
That's what I said. I went off the rails and made us go longer than we should have. I apologize.
No, you're good. No, that's what you're here for, Josh. That's why I haven't fired you yet. You have the you have that deep DC knowledge that I cannot bring. I've done some of my homework on the old Marvel side. I got a Taskmaster right there.
Yeah, Merry Christmas.
Yes.
Dark Phoenix is apparently the end of the 20th Century Fox X-Men's. So if Disney starts up X-Men, I can dip into that one. That one's I got a lot of X-Men now.
Yeah, that's true. They might start doing the
I don't
X-Men
know.
again. But New Mutants is actually coming out.
Yeah, next year.
Yeah. No, I think this year.
Christmas or something.
Yeah,
like
around
that?
Christmas.
Yeah.
It looks bad 3 years ago when it was supposed to come out.
And now they've probably butchered the shit.
And I was
going
going
to
to say, and it probably is even worse now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, speaking of Dark Phoenix, I couldn't get out of my head that Billy Batson looked exactly like Maisie Williams.
No, he does. Yeah, he looks like Maisie Williams' brother for sure.
He looks exactly like Maisie Williams.
They could have gotten Maisie Williams to play Billy Batson for sure.
And her real name is Belinda.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, dude, definitely check it out. I don't know how I feel about Disney owning everything.
Yeah, it's not great.
It's worrisome.
It's not great.
Especially since they recently came out and said that they're going to continue the Alien franchise and the Apes movies. And I was just like, Apes is done. Don't do anything anymore. Like War of the Planet of the Apes was great.
Leave it be. I think that was a don't worry, like all those properties aren't just disappearing into the Disney
hope that's
vault.
what it is. I just hope it doesn't get dialed into that mass production algorithm where you're going to get an Apes movie every year.
Oh, I doubt it. They're dialing back on that, dude.
I really hope that's what they say.
I think Nutcracker didn't do too well. We'll see how Dumbo tanked. So I think just transitioning everything to a live action, they're like, ooh,
are you sure?
They're reeling that back, and I think
because like Aladdin's coming out, and I guarantee that's going to make gangbusters.
Oh, for sure. If it's good, it might just get. I'm going to see it because I love Aladdin, and I hope it's not bad. The newest one makes it look like it's not going to suck too bad.
No, it looks all right. I'm just not a big fan of Will Smith phoning it in with a Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Yeah, I just exactly. That's the thing. It's what's wrong with Jumanji and if you take a Robin Williams property. Yeah.
That blows my mind.
Yeah. Jablinski. That's why there hasn't been new Jablinski games. He's like, I've been on the set of Jumanji all week. Like, I can't really do anything. Yeah. And I'm like, man, I love they did get the Elgato figured out. The Delgado.
No, they didn't. No, they didn't.
They got the Delgado figured out.
No, they didn't. I don't believe it.
But Jablinski Games is like was like hold my beer and made one of the best YouTube channels ever.
And he doesn't do anything.
He doesn't do anything. You just want to hang out with Jack Black, and that's
He
what
did
he
throw
did.
up. He did throw up that one where he's playing old school games with the fucking
Yeah.
the screen that you had to apply. That was really interesting. That was really cool.
Yeah, the Vectrix was
Vectrix,
cool.
thank you.
Anyway, what the hell was I talking about? Yeah, it's hard for you to take like classic Robin Williams
Yeah.
and just throw somebody else in that role, man. It's why we always talk about Back to the Future. It's going to be remade.
At some point
in
it's
our
gonna
lifetime,
happen.
it's going to happen.
Oh,
And
yeah.
it's not gonna work.
No, I'm gonna be
They
real
literally
upset.
shot half the movie before they even knew that Michael J. Fox was Marty McFly.
I thought they shot the whole movie.
Almost the whole movie. Almost all of, like, most of...
Because a lot of, like...
Crispin Glover said, like, he didn't actually spend that much time with
With
Michael J.
Michael
Fox.
yeah.
Most of the
Almost
shots
said
that
Michael
you...
Jackson.
Yeah, most of the shots that you see in the movie were filmed with...
Well, I know that one in particular...
What's his name? I can't think of his name.
Eric Stoltz.
Eric Stoltz.
I know that one in particular is the diner scene. The back of the head that you see in the movie, that's
Stoltz.
Eric Stoltz.
Yeah. Yeah, the bees. Basically, they reshot the A takes and they kept the bees. Like, they didn't care. So think about that. They literally almost shot a whole movie and were like, this isn't working. We need Michael J. Fox. Could you imagine trying to remake it? They couldn't even make it in the first place without him.
I know. Yeah. Well, it was written for him, wasn't it? Is that what I heard?
They wrote it with him in mind.
Yeah.
So that's the problem here, is we're trying to replace.
Well, it's like I see these
remakes for classic Robin Williams. It's just not working.
Well, it's even more recently. Like Downey's done.
Yeah.
With Iron Man, and like I see all these fans scrambling to try to find another Tony Stark to continue the saga, and I'm like, guys, no one else can play Tony Stark. Like that, it was tailor made for Robert Downey.
I mean, when we're in our, when I'm in my,
I'll be like 80.
I don't know. Anyway, when I'm in like our late 50s or something, I'm sure we'll see another Tony Stark. But I think they're gonna wind that down for a good while.
I hope so.
I don't think they're gonna try to recast him right off the bat.
No. I wouldn't mind seeing Bucky become Cap for a little while because it happened in the comics.
Could do that, yeah.
They did it in the comics, and I would love to see Bucky show.
And I like Sebastian Stan.
Yeah, he's really good.
Yeah,
he's surprised me a lot. I've enjoyed him as.
Do you think they're gonna do? Do you think they're gonna do that, or do you think they're gonna make fucking Falcon, Captain America?
I would hope not. I would rather see Falcon get his own shit because, like, I like Falcon. Yeah. I like Falcon a lot. I like him in the comics. I like him in the movies. I would love to see Falcon get to be a hero in his own right. Like, not have to be a title inheritor or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, Bucky was great as Cap. Because that was his real redemption saga and stuff like that. And it was really cool.
If you've gone media blackout, I don't want to say anything.
I have gone media blackout.
Okay, never mind. I was just going to ask you how you felt about something, but if you haven't watched the like quick look or whatever they did, then I don't want to even bring it up.
You tempt me, sir.
I know it's kind of spoilerific, so I don't.
Okay, please don't tell me that.
Yeah, it's if you're sitting here like, man, how's he gonna get out of this jam? But you shouldn't, because it shows them all in the suits, right?
It showed them all in the
see
suits.
all that.
Yeah.
But how do you feel about like Pepper totally survived? I was like, what is his motivation?
I did actually.
What is
see? I saw that. I was fucking scrolling through my news feed on my Google phone, on my phone and my Google News,
trending on my Google
and it
phone.
was boom right there, and it was just fucking Pepper and Tony hugging, and I was like, that better be the end of the fucking movie. You know, like,
I don't think it is. If not, that's a huge spoiler.
If not, that's a huge spoiler for the end of the movie. But like at the same time, I'm like, why? Come on, you know, like
because that's what I'm wondering. I'm thinking that she's just still alive, but what's his motivation? Getting Peter back, I guess.
Yeah, it'll be getting
guilt
back. Guilt again.
Yeah.
Tony's just racked
He's
by
racked
guilt.
by guilt. That's his from the first movie.
That's his only driving force is I feel bad about all the bad shit I've done.
Yeah. Shazam's a great movie.
Shazam was fucking great, dude. I liked it a whole lot. Biggest complaint right here.
Let's hear it.
Biggest complaint: the villain.
Okay.
And you're talking about him being the same kind of Marvel thing where it's like, oh, it's the same guy and stuff. For me, he seemed like he had a really cool backstory, and it was kind of wrapped up real quick. and then you didn't do much else with him. He just showed
Yeah.
up and was like, "I'm a dick, you see."
Give me your power.
Yeah. I wanted to see a little. I like Mark Strong a lot.
Yeah.
That guy's an awesome actor.
Yeah.
I've enjoyed him in everything. Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy, amazing character.
I'm trying to think the like he has an iconic role in my head, but I can't place it.
Dude, I know exactly the role you're thinking of. He's Merlin
There we go.
in Kingsman.
There we go. Thank you.
He's awesome in Kingsman.
Thank you.
It's
Thank
the
you.
only thing I
you.
enjoyed about the second movie.
Yeah. Oh
well,
yeah.
no, him and Colin Firth.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The rest of that movie's crap.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
I don't hate that movie. It's just sequelitis.
Oh no, yeah.
number
I
one.
don't hate Kingsman 2. I was just kind of like,
I mean, I've never watched it again.
Yeah,
Or
I saw it in theaters.
Or thought about it.
I saw it in theaters with one really weird dude that sat in the far corner.
I was by myself in an XD movie theater before they remodeled it, where it had like 50 gazillion seats, and it was just me and one other guy. So anyway, yes, that is what I'm thinking of. You're completely right. The interesting bit of like that, just it was kind of comical, like how his dad and brother treated him. I don't know if you were in the theater by that point.
Well, the guy that plays his dad is kind of a tool.
Yeah.
Like, I would have much rather seen I don't know his name, but he always plays a similar character. Like, it's like a Bruce Campbell and the guy from Happy Gilmore played Shooter.
Oh,
The two of they always get the same roles,
Yeah.
and one goes to the other one, and they're always competing for roles. I imagine it's the same kind of thing because they always kind of play similar characters. This the dad, he was the dad in Talladega Nights and the drug dealer from Pineapple Express.
Yes.
I think he would have been a lot better in the role because he can play a real smug piece of shit really well.
It was kind of over the top cheese dick.
Yeah.
So
But the whole movie's kind of
treat
over the
yeah,
top.
it is. They treat him like just it's comical how they treat him. It's
I'm a
like,
dick, you see.
we hate you, you asshole, like,
Yeah,
child,
you little wiener kid.
yeah, you little wiener kid. And then all that shit happens, and
'Cause there was
he's
kinda
not-
like
and he's
a-
not worthy, and he's obsessed, and then like he takes revenge out on his dad, and you're kind of like, I get his motivations. Boom, exactly, end of it.
Yeah,
That's done. That's right at the beginning of the movie. Done.
Yeah.
All right, now he's just the bad guy.
Yeah,
and like,
'cause-
and I'm talking about him being generic villain man, but it's more, I guess, the disappointment, like you said, of them not doing more with him.
Yeah. It's because you kind of get like a Voldemort type of vibe off the dude, and I was kind of hoping for a little bit of that.
And especially because he's corrupt, like because he fell
He's
for
the
it.
evil
He
magic,
fell for
yeah.
it, and now they're using him.
Yeah.
They didn't even really expand upon that.
No. And there's so much cool that they could have really done with him, and I thought that would have been really awesome.
Yeah.
That's the only real big
that's the
complaint
main-
I have.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
other than that, guys, go out and see Shazam, please.
See Shazam. Do it.
Do it now.
All right.
That was a very lazy Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Very. You did not go for
I
it.
didn't.
I'm going to give you another chance.
Do it now.
Thank you.
Get to the movies. God, I suck.
This is gonna be a busy month, guys. We are
a lot coming out.
We're going to be back. We definitely want to check out Pet Cemetery. We're gonna check out Hellboy. That's coming next week. And then
We're gonna talk about that.
why? You have to see it to find out if it's bad.
No, I don't. It's got David Harbour in it. God damn it.
Check out that Hellboy. Gonna check out Endgame, I guess.
Yeah.
If I can get fucking tickets to it.
Good
Josh
luck,
is gonna
dude.
see it. I might not be able to see it for a couple days.
I got it through pure luck because of the
Yes.
way me and my friend, we go to every one of them.
Exactly,
And he
yeah,
fucking sat on the computer, I guess, all day. long.
waiting for it to hit for sure. I have scheduling issues that don't allow me to think that far ahead, but
the review. The discussion might be a little late, but we're definitely both going to see it.
I mean, it's not going to be any later than the normal upload time.
Yeah.
It's not going to be like a week out or anything.
No. Speaking of which, didn't have an episode last week because somebody pointed something out to us. I feel like we should address some of our answers that we got.
Yes.
Somebody told us, somebody gave us a review on iTunes. Thank you very much. I think it's Video Theory was his name.
Something like that.
Something like that.
I should have had this ready.
Yeah, we should. I didn't know we were going to do it. And
No,
just thought of
I
it
do.
right
No,
now.
I do want to address all this stuff.
But yeah, dude, thanks for your feedback, man. I remember you said something like when it's a good podcast to listen to when you think you like a movie and then realize you don't. I feel a little bad about that. We don't mean to crush dreams here, man. Enjoy what you enjoy. If
true.
we see flaws in it, don't let it fucking affect your viewing.
It's true.
But thank you for that. And then another word of mouth that we received. This is why we didn't do it, because we were told by somebody that we need. It's better when we both see the same movie and talk about it. And the last couple episodes have been us watching different things and talking about it and trying to sell each other almost. And we agreed on that point. So we hadn't seen anything together, and we hadn't even seen the same movie. So we kind of let that one go. We handled we did some house cleaning and stuff like that.
And we're gonna make up for last week, because we have, like I said, we have Pet Sematary and Hellboy coming out. So we might
Hellboy's this week, right?
It's coming out this week.
This weekend, yeah.
So in Shazam and Pet Sematary came out on the same weekend. So we're gonna check that out. So we'll have plenty of movies to talk about. So that'll be nice. Also on the whole, feedback thing and whatever, we unified our branding pretty well here at this point. So
that's what I was talking about with the house cleaning.
yes. So we are, of course, the Mighty Movie Pod. You can listen to us on all major podcasting apps, including Stitcher, Google Podcasts, iTunes, and SoundCloud, of course. And we are Mighty Movie Pod. Everything is good there. We are also on Twitter at Mighty Movie Pod, because that makes sense. So we're at Mighty Movie Pod. You can find us on YouTube if you want to check out any of our video content, or if that's how you want to listen, if you have like YouTube Red or whatever.
Rate, subscribe,
smash the like button, whatever. But
thumbs up.
We are
stars.
Under the banner of Mighty Fish Productions, and you can find the Mighty Movie Pod there. But under iTunes, everything is pretty uniform. So we are basically at Mighty Movie Pod everywhere now, so it's less confusing. And so I think that's about it.
That'll
about do her. This has been another thrilling episode of the Mighty Fish Podcast. See, I went and I changed it.
I know, now everybody's confused.
Right at the end, because you listened to the old episodes and you're like, why did it change?
Yeah.
No.
We were just called the podcast for the longest time.
The podcast. But we are the Mighty Movie Pod. I have been your host, Ryan.
I am still Jost.
And we've Jost. His name is Jost, guys. He's been Jost this whole time.
I've been throwing you for a loop. It's really me.
Finally, he slipped up and you get
Josh
his real name.
From the mirror dimension. I have a mustache.
Thank you for listening. Bye.
Bye.